I'm looking over the bridge that crosses over from Fall River to Somerset. Take it low price, it leads you over to one nut of a guy. Man, what a voice! Who's always got that gleam in his eye. Here we go! Oh, they call me low price, a name that's just right, 'cause I'm the guy that almost gives away all the stuff at cop shops and Western Auto, at least a free smile every day.
Good morning, everyone. Today is a sad day, but a happy day at the same time. We're sad that we've lost low price Lenny Kaplan. Joe Primo and the Boy Scouts group dedicated this bridge to Lenny, and we thought it would be fitting to come and place a wreath here today in Lenny's honor. Although Lenny wasn't a politician, he was never an elected official in the city, but he did so much more for our community than some elected officials ever do. In a lifetime, all he did was promote the city of Fall River. I wish the people that lived in Fall River would promote the goodness of Fall River and the positivity of Fall River. Lenny did that. He should be a shining example to people who just want to be negative, because Lenny was positive. And I think that Fall River is a great community. We have issues like every place else, but Lenny always did something to promote it. He had an idea, and as the late Bob Correa said to me once, anybody can have an idea. It's how you proceed with that idea to get it to fruition. And that is example of Lenny. Had great ideas, and he did stuff, whether it was for boxing, whether it was for the Boy Scouts, but all in all, it was always for our community. And I'm honored to have some of our former mayors, Mayor Ed Lambert, Mayor Sam Sutter, and of course our state rep, Alan Sylvia, and the mayor of Fall River would like to say a few words.
Well, I've known Lenny my whole life. When he was at the gob shops, we'd always go down there when we worked for, well, it was called Recreation then, but Lenny was a fixture in the city for a long time. So I do want to read this proclamation we got for Alan, if he'd come on up, please. Whereas Fall River has a history of shining a light on and celebrating individuals with organizations within the community who contribute to our betterment. Fall River is a community which encourages its citizens to maximize their personal contributions to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly with total effort, commitment, and conviction. Lenny, low-price Lenny Kaplan, was a veteran of the United States Army, an extremely active civic leader in Fall River who volunteered and held many leadership positions within our community, organizations such as the PAL, the United Way, the Chamber of Commerce, and this place where we're standing today, Friends of Heritage State Park. Lenny was well known for also founding the Miss Senior Sweetheart pageant that brought laughter and love into the lives of many for over 36 years. He was the originator of the We Can food drive that brought holiday food into the homes of the neediest residents for as close to 40 years. This was one gentleman, folks. Lenny would light up a room and bring smiles and laughter to all when playing his famous kazoo. For this, and for tons more that aren't even written on this proclamation, we therefore declare that I, Paul Coogan, Mayor of the city, proclaim August 7th, 2021 in Fall River, Massachusetts, Low Price Lenny Kaplan Day.
Thank you.
Want to say a few words then, please?
My dad loved the city of Fall River. Ever since I was a little kid, it's all he ever talked about. He loved the people here, he loved his businesses here, and he loved to be a shining light for everyone. And I am so appreciative of this, Mayor Coogan. I'm so appreciative of the dedication of the bridge. It's an everlasting memory to our family, our friends, and everybody in the city of Fall River. So thank you very much.
I'd like to let a few of the other dignitaries come up and say a few words about their memories of Lenny. We'll start with Ed Lambert, former mayor.
The guy's in office first.
Oh, okay. We're going to go right down.
I'm going to defer to that.
Sorry, we're going to change it up. Alan Sylvia, the state representative.
First of all, I'm very happy to be here, and I was speaking with Alan just prior to starting the ceremony, and of course, I have so many fond memories of Lenny Kaplan. But what I said to his son was, even when there was a mini crisis, because of course at the time it was a crisis, but now we look back at it and those were a mini crisis. Lenny always brought some humor into the moment. And I looked for a kazoo for this morning, and I couldn't find one, of course. But I just want to say, in Lenny's memory, I'm looking over the bridge that crosses over from Fall River to Somerset. Hey, that was that song that stuck. And occasionally when I do a radio show and we're talking about the history of Fall River and some nostalgia, I try to sing a few bars of that. So we'll never forget Lenny, and thank you all for being here.
Good morning, everybody. That's tough to top, Rep. I don't know. Look, like all of us, when I got the news about Lenny, I was certainly quite sad and upset. But I think, like all of us as well, Lenny's magic power was to put a smile on your face, and I couldn't still help but smile just thinking about him. And I'm sure that in his passing, he's got some good ideas for the big guy up there, how he can maybe liven things up a little bit. The reference was made to the pageant, and Lenny used to try to ensure that at every pageant, the song Young at Heart would be sang. He talked me into singing it a couple of times. I asked him, why do you want me to sing it? He said, you should just practice other things. You never know if this mayor thing is going to work out. But the lines in that song, while it applied to all those beautiful women, applied to Lenny so much more than anybody. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams. But life gets more exciting with each passing day, and love is either in your heart or on the way. And for Lenny, yes, his mind was filled with some incredible, improbable schemes, but more importantly, his heart was filled with love. And that's what he was all about. The rep sang the song. I remember as a kid trying to convince my father, let's go to the gob shop, because if we can catch him without his kazoo, we'll get something. And son of a gun, he always had it. But he for those of us who've had the privilege of serving this city in elected office, he was the go-to guy. He was the guy that you could call if you needed something done. He was the quartermaster, as he called himself, from his days in the service. You needed something that no one else could get their hands on, Lenny could get it, and he could get it done. And yes, he had some pretty improbable schemes, if you think about it. The pageant itself, it just seemed improbable that he could pull that off. But even more improbable when he decided, hey, we're going to go worldwide. We're just going to, and he did it. And you know what? He did it not for camp, but for dignity, for respect, for the love of life that people could show at any age. And by doing that, he taught us all of that. So, we live in a day and age when people often feel they've got to be critical of others or do some wild stuff to be the center of attention. I don't know how Lenny, would tweet or make it today on social media, but I know that in any room and in any community, he was the center of attention in some of the most positive ways. He always did it without denigrating others, without insulting, without feeling that he had to be negative. He was just the perfect gentleman and a great example as to how we should all live our life. So Lenny, rest in peace, buddy. Because of you, we are all much younger at heart. Thank you.
I'd like to say a few words. There again, I work the operating room, so a live audience is hard. I just want to say, when I decided to do this over a cup of coffee, I never knew how big. And then Linda helped a lot. It was just unbelievable. I think back that day a lot. I walk here, excuse me, I see the signs. And like I say, Linda It was just wonderful. The fire department over here with the flags. We had 100 chairs set up. They came and told me we need 100 more. It was packed. It was so wonderful to thank a man that did so much. My Boy Scouts used to camp right over there, 80 of them, and Lenny would come and they'd go through the camp and they'd all want to see if he had the kazoo. So, and then like we did hot chocolate follies, 400 kids came through. People said it wouldn't work. It was so busy, we had to get the kids in because it was so cold that adults had to go to the stations. And like I was telling yesterday at the dinner, a girl won. And it was like, whoa, yeah, 200 Boy Scouts here. We went over to records, she won, she got the trophy. So I want to thank Lenny. I want to thank Lenny's family for inviting me. And he's up there with my son, so thank you. Thank you. And there's this thing in scouting. When I was Scoutmaster in England for a month, someone left a book on my desk and it said, you may not know the car I drove or the house I lived in, but if I change the life of one person, it's worth it. Well, look, how many people? Thank you, Lenny. Hats off. Thank you.
Well, folks, I can't top Alan singing, and I can't top Ed reciting poetry, and the mayor reading a proclamation, and Linda's remarks were great about how positive a person he was and how positive about Fall River. But I can tell a quick story which I think helps capture your dad. So I was a young lawyer just opening up my law practice all by myself after 8 years at the DA's office as an assistant DA. And I had this idea to advertise at the bus station, so someone told me where his office was. I remember walking up the stairs, I remember it vividly. And there he was seated behind the desk, and he just treated me so well. I was a complete unknown. And just, as you said, so positive and so warm and so kind, great sense of humor, and he made me feel like $1 million. And can you imagine how many people he did that to? So he will be greatly missed by his family and his friends and by the city. Thank you.
Okay. If no one else has anything to say, I want to thank Alan and his wife Sharon. I want to thank everybody for coming out today, and I guess Joe and Linda for putting this together. We really appreciate it, and it's a fitting tribute to a gentleman that did so much for this community. So again, thanks everybody. We appreciate it.
Cause I